Hi, I'm Nancy Krulik and I write kids' books. Maybe you've read some of my chapter book series like Katie Kazoo Switcheroo, George Brown Class Clown, Magic Bone, How I Survived Middle School, Project Droid. I've written more than 200 books, and every book starts the same way, with my creating characters that are real and seem to be honest, true kids. I mean, why would any kid want to read a book about someone who seemed fake? It's not so easy coming up with real characters. You can't just take somebody else and put them in your book. You have to come up with it in your mind. And to do that, I usually make a very, very, very long list of character traits. Things that make that character unique. What they like, what they don't like, where they live, how they behave, what hobbies they have. For instance, in the George Brown Class Clown series, George gets in a lot of trouble. He's always gotten in a lot of trouble, and he's always been the jokester. But then I had to come up with the reason why. And I decided it was because George moved around a lot. His dad was in the army, and he was always having to go to a new school and make new friends. So he discovered that if he was really funny, kids would want to hang out with him. Of course, in that series, it goes a little awry. Sometimes I have to come up with a bad guy, like George's friend Louie. Well, he's not really his friend. He's more of a frenemy. He's not very nice. He's always saying mean things to George, and he's always competing with George. And I had to come up with a reason. Why is he always competing with George? Maybe it's because he's always had to compete with his older brother, and he's never been the star of anything, not his family, and not his classroom. So he doesn't want George to be more popular or have more friends than him. Sometimes I have to come up with interesting hobbies, like George loves to skateboard. So there's a lot of skateboarding in the George Brown books. He has a friend Alex who isn't very good at sports, but he's terrific at math and science. And he's helping George get rid of his magical super burp that makes George do terrible things. Then there's my character, Princess Pulverizer. She's different than almost any character I've come up with because, at least in the first few books in the series, she isn't nice at all. She's spoiled and bratty and snobby, and she brags a lot. But the thing is, she wants to be a knight, and those are not very knightly attributes. So I had to send her off on a quest of kindness, where she could learn to change those parts of her personality. She's an interesting character because she changes and becomes a better person with each book. I also had to create the other characters in the Princess Pulverizer books, like Dribble the dragon, who should be using his fire to burn down villages. But he's a nice guy, and he likes cooking with his flame. In fact, he makes the most delicious grilled cheese. And then there's Lucas, a knight in training. He should be everything Princess Pulverizer wants to be, brave and strong, and he's not. He's shy and scared of his own shadow. You see, a story cannot be a story if it isn't told through the eyes of real people, or at least people that seem real. George Brown and Princess Pulverizer are just a few of my characters. You can learn more about my characters. You can learn more about my books. You can learn more about me, and you can even hear brand new listening stories for Princess Pulverizer and George Brown if you go to my website, www.realnancykrulik.com. Stay safe, everybody. Be well, and be creative.